How you doing, family? Welcome to another BANTU-Morpheus video. I decided what I'm going to do from here forward is start to do book reports. And I'm going to start out with a book that, I started out last week with last two videos with Professor Kaba's book, Baba Kaba's book. And I was watching a video today with Baba Philippe Matthews, and he was going over some slides, and I started reading, and he touched on a book called White Trash by, I forget the author's name, Eisenberg, I believe her name is. And we'll go over it when I start the slideshow. But what I want to do for you is I want to try to help you have a fire in your gut for why you need to cut these, not all white people, all human forms that happen to be white. Let me say it that way. Because all Americans are not racist, white supremacists. But I want you to identify and be able to determine who are the Confederate GOP Republican white supremacists. You have to know who these people are, because you got to cut them off. And the main thing I want you to cut them off with, number one, is their Bible. Throw that whole thing in the garbage. And that's for all of them. I don't give a damn what nobody says, because that's how you get even with their ass. They see, when they see you dropping their Bible, they're going to get scared, and they're going to say, oh shit, we're going to lose control over the niggers. And now we're going to have a problem. And a lot of them are thinking that in the background, even if they don't say it up front. They're thinking it in the background. And that's why you got to stay on your toes. On your toes. You can't take no chances. This is war, baby. And it's not a physical war, it's a psychological war. That's what we're going through right now. It's a war over the control of your mind. And the number one brainwashing device is that damn Bible. Okay? And I'm going to prove it to you. Okay? Because they were doing it to each other. That's how they mastered the skill. By the time they got to the Africans, oh baby, they had PhDs in brainwashing, what they call divide and conquer tactics. Oh, they had it mastered. They had worked on them Irish. They were working on the Irish clean up to what, 1980 when Bill Clinton got in there? The English is still working on the Irish. So that's why I tell you, of the demyelinated, mutated Africans, I would tend to go with the Irish, because they were the last ones to getting their asses kicked by the English. And I mean, that was fresh. So they know about being abused, oppressed, and just cut out and chopped into pieces of class that the Europeans have used. But the thing I want to show you here is what I said in my previous movies about why Europe to this day is so sophisticated and avant-garde and PhD and intellectual, because they dumped all of their psychopaths, their filthy mass murderers and everything. They dumped them all into America, and they did it on purpose. It was not a mistake. And I stumbled onto this. I wasn't looking for it. Baba Philippe Matthews did a video. I was reviewing a video he had did a couple months ago. And I had the book White Trash, but I didn't really read it. I just browsed over a couple of pages, and I never really read it. So he quoted some things in there, and I said, oh boy, let me check this out. And as I'm going through it, I noticed that the author, made a statement that confirmed everything that I had been saying about them dumping their garbage into America to clean up Europe, because they're such filthy animals. And see, the few of them, they were like, they call them the elites. They call them the 1%ers. Okay, and there's the middle class also. But there is a class of them that is low down, filthy animals. And that's the Boogaloo boys. That's the Proud Boys. You see they proud? Because that means they proud white supremacists. See? That's what when they say proud, they just leave the white supremacist word out. They lie by omission. They just leave it out. And everybody knows what they mean. And the 1%ers and the upper middle class people now in the Confederate GOP party right now are using them. And that's why you see that they're starting to, I think his name is Alex something from one of these talk show radio. He's turning on Trump now because Trump told them to get vaccinated. And so now they're all starting to feed on each other. So now the underclass, filthy Confederate white supremacists that were in the Confederacy, and that the slave owners and the what do you call those people, that the plantation owners were using them as the KKK to sick them on the Africans that were running out of slavery, who was fighting against slavery. So they sicked the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys and the neo-Nazis. These are now have been upgraded in modern times to neo-Nazis, Boogaloo Boys, Proud Boys, and the KKK still exists, and most of them are in the Republican Party, if not all. You got one or two like Joe Manchin in the Democratic Party, undercover. He's trying to pretend he's some kind of a decent human being. See, once they saw Obama, all the hoods had to come off. They had to take the gloves off because they said, oh, hell, these African Americans are really growing in numbers. And I just saw a statistic coming out of the 2020 census that just completed, where they say we're the fastest growing minority or group in Florida in particular. We're the fastest growing. Okay, so if we're the fastest growing in Florida, that means we're the fastest growing in Georgia. We're the fastest growing in Texas. We're the fastest growing everywhere we live. We're the fastest growing. Why? Because we have been through the crucible of white supremacy and enslavement. So all of those of us who have survived, we are the strongest and the best. Our gene pool is coming from the strongest and the best. The Frederick Douglasses, okay, Sojourner Truths. These are the strongest African women and the strongest African men who survived and grew up in their filthy, blood-sucking enslavement process. Okay, and I don't see. I will not seek revenge on them for equal and opposite treatment, but we're gonna go after this. This is what I want you to have, to put a fire in your belly when we start going for reparations. See, everything I'm doing for you right now, I'm not doing this to make you want to hate somebody just for the sake of hating somebody. That's what they do. We're African. Our humanity is still fully intact. We created humanity while they were in the ice caves for 100,000, 300 years, becoming the filthy barbarians that they still are. They just got nice covers on them. You can't clean up 100,000, 300 years of filth and barbarism and cannibalism. You cannot fix that in 15 or 20,000 years when you got 100,000 and then 300 years on top of that. Do the math, family. It's just basics. It's just basics, basic math. And you understand why I'm telling you, you'll have to get a fire in your gut that will motivate you to boycott their filthy Bible, boycott all of their damn movies, boycott all of their damn, don't live next to them. And when they get to see that we are serious I guarantee you, the equal rights that we were struggling to get, that they took back and they're still taking back right now with voting rights with the Supreme Court, I guarantee you they'll turn around. You know why? Because they're a bunch of lazy bastards and they damn sure don't want to do their own work. That is number one with them, and that's the one thing we'll work their asses under a table. They can't even come close to how hard we can work. We have been purified by the crucible of enslavement, and it's in your DNA. You were already the best when you came out of Africa. You had to be the best because the only ones that could survive that trip were the best and the strongest, the Mandinkas. Okay? The Yorubas. That's your ancestors. Don't turn your back on your ancestors and your people that sacrificed. And I'm trying to, the reason I'm doing this, because I want you to have a fire in your gut. I'm not talking about spirituality right now. I'm talking about socio-political activism that surrounds voting and surrounds the end goal is reparations. Because we're going to get even with their ass and they're going to pay us for what they did. And nobody gets a free ride in the world. Nobody. They made us pay the Haitians. They made them pay France and wiped out their economy to this day. Haiti is a vestige of just absolute poverty and destitution. And the French did it to them to make them pay them for losing their slaves and all the wealth that they were supposed to gain from enslaving Africans. And these bastards got paid millions of dollars back in the 1800s and 1900s, millions of dollars. That was a devastating amount of money. And Haiti had no resources, still has no real resources. So that's why Haiti will never be able to get up off its belly. Never. It's been fragmented into all kind of class warfares. They got the whole color thing going on between the light skin and the dark skin. They're so mentally fragmented and jacked up. Haiti is a wasteland. I mean, it will never, ever be able to recover because it's too small. They have no resources. So the only hope they have is that some of them will migrate here to America, build some businesses and get on their feet and build some wealth and then get back in that country and get control of them goddamn gangs and all those filthy, out of control Negroes that they got running around there destroying the place, selling drugs. Listen, they don't have their spiritual culture is gone. They are pure 100% gangsters. And they're taking after these filthy Europeans. Because that's what happens when you lose all your resources. You have no food to eat. You have no water to drink. Your systems is jacked up. You got a whole millions and millions of destitute, of starving people. When you have a situation like that, you sink back into a barbarian, just like they did when they went in the caves. But now this is happening in broad daylight. With everybody running around here, billionaires, trillionaires, and Haiti sitting right there starving. That's not right, folks. That's not right. This BS of us sitting back, enjoying our wealth and everything while right next door to us, people are starving to death. And the American government here won't even go in there or allow them to immigrate to where there is plenty. We got plenty here. This is a land of abundance. Don't let these filthy Confederates down here in the South, in Florida, and DeSantis and all these filthy scumbags who made all their money on enslaving our goddamn ancestors. You think I'm gonna sit back and allow them to get away with this crap? You got to be out of your mind. And if you don't get a fire in your belly, all this righteousness talk, you people talking about righteousness and spirituality, you can't have it both ways. You gotta get a fire in your gut to fight for righteousness and what's correct, because if we don't, righteousness won't mean anything. You think that you're gonna be able to sit back, and I got plenty of money in the stock market. I'm gonna make plenty of money, but I'm donating to organizations. I'm donating to Liberated Minds. I'm donating to every Black African organization I can find. And I don't even really have that much money. But I'm making sure that I do everything I can, because when this vehicle times out, I'm gonna sit back and say, I did the very best I could to make sure I'm not gonna sit back and enjoy all kinds of wealth and everything. And you got people starving in Haiti, right here in Haiti. Come on, family, we can do better than this. And I don't know what, you got to get some serious scholars and some people to go over there to Haiti and find out what's wrong and put them Negroes in their place. And I'm talking about the gangsters. I'm talking about the guys running around kidnapping people and doing all that stuff. If we got to get the military to go in there and straighten that crap out, so be it. Better than let it sit there and be a filthy cesspool of just death and destruction and starvation. It's not right. It's morally incorrect for us to sit here with all this wealth and all these resources and watch those people starve and kill each other because they have nothing to eat. They have nothing. That's not right, family. That's not right. We can do better than this. Just like Elijah Cummings said, we're better than this. We're better than this. Okay? But anyway, so I'm gonna start sharing. I wanna share this screen with you, and I wanna talk to you about this particular book that's called White Trash. Okay? And in this book, the lady talks about, I want to start out right. Okay, with my chime, and I'm also drinking my green tea, all right? Because the COVID Omicron variant is around. I've had all my shots and boosters, so I'm good to go. But still drinking the hot tea and doing what I have to do in order to make sure that I stay healthy. So you can't be a good soldier if you're not healthy. You got to be healthy mentally, you got to be healthy spiritually, and you got to be healthy physically, okay? And I know you may think I'm not healthy physically, but see, if you're a spiritual person, now I'm a spiritual micro being, okay, in a physical form vehicle. Now, my physical form vehicle is the who of what I am. And that physical form vehicle, although you may think I'm out of control, this is my teaching style. I'm not out of control. This is my teaching style. I'm not this calm, a priest, a Shaolin priest who's going to sit here and talk to you like a monk. That's not my style. That's not the person that I am. And I've been doing this for over 65 years. And I've never been able to be anything but. I've done meditation for years and decades. Generations now, 25 years as a generation. So I've been doing it for over 50 years almost. 2 generations, and I still speak the same way. I still have the same passion. I still have the same enthusiasm for doing the right thing. When I see injustice, when I see greed, when I see selfishness, when I see people suffering, and I have all this wealth, I can't reconcile the two and sit back calmly and just say, oh, well, that's how it is. It'll get better in the next life. There are some people that's their task in life to promote complacency and watching people suffer. I'm not built that way. That's not my task, okay? My job is to enlighten and wake people the hell up and make you stand up for righteousness, because as I said before, Righteousness does not exist in a vacuum, and it does not uphold itself. It must be fought for, just like democracy. It must be fought for. And you have to be relentless. It's a dishonor to Sojourner Truth and to all the others that are ancestors that have sacrificed their lives in trying to save as many enslaved Africans and get them out of this bondage of this filthy Southern white trash South with DeSantis and these scumbags like him and Trump. You gotta fight these MFs. You don't just allow them to do what they want. You gotta fight them every second of every day in small little ways. You boycott, you don't spend your money with anybody that's not Black, and you punish their ass, and you make them feel that you are not gonna tolerate any more inequality and any more of their barbaric, cannibalistic, mental cannibalistic nonsense and selfishness and greed. And you gotta fight it with everything you got. And then you know what? You pass on it. I know I will. I'll pass on to my next life, and I'll be proud of myself and say, hey, I may not have got it all done, but I put my foot up their ass. And they knew I was there. And they knew that they're not going to be able to get away with doing all kinds of filthy raping and carrying on. And everybody going to sit back and say, oh, well, that's just, sometimes they get a little out of control. I'm not the one that does that. I do that with any of my brother's kids when I saw they were suffering. I'm not going to sit back and do that. I'm not that kind of person. That's just not what I'm made of. So you may not like the way I talk. You may not like my energy and everything. But hey, listen, I got to do what I'm tasked to do. The universe has tasked me to be here and do this job and do this work. I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I'm trying to be like myself. Okay? And there's no disrespect to anybody else in the way and your delivery style and your teaching style. There's no disrespect. I'm not trying to recruit anybody to be like me. I'm just trying to recruit others to work together to make a difference. And let's stop all of this foolishness that's going on out here. Okay? So I want to bring this book to your attention, both these books, because Baba Matthews talked about this book, White Trash, and in it, he mentioned Thomas Jefferson, and I went and looked his bio up, and I wanted to find out exactly, why is he such a big deal with the Confederates and the GOP and the white supremacists? And I found out why. Baba Philippe Matthews brought this to my attention. This thing is going to work. Okay, that won't work. Okay, need a different tool. Okay, but before I leave this page, I want you to see these two books, and I want you to be able to consider reading these books. And what these two books are going to show you. The first book here, White Trash, is going to show you how they systematically, they're playing 3-level chess, and this was back in 16 something, when they were playing 3-level chess while everybody else was playing checkers and hopscotch. These people were calculating how to play the low-down filthy, to empty their jails, empty their mental institutions, and dump all their filth into America to sick them on the African Native Americans that were already here. They were not these mongoloid, long-haired, shiny head. Some of them had long, straight hair, but it wasn't because of no Eskimos that they mated with, and some of them had the mongoloid eyes. There was some like that, absolutely flat-headed, flat-faced, like the Eskimos, Asians, because they were Asians, mongoloids. That's what they were. And of course, the Africans mated with any and everybody that they met. They were just, that's our humanity. We had never known anything as filthy and vicious as a Roman, as a filthy barbarian. The barbarian creed was the Devs, the Anglo-Saxons, the Romans, the Hyksos, all of these were the things that crawled out of the caves. The pink, mutated, skinny nose, skinny lip, no booty, ugly, stink, filthy, nasty, untouchables, that to the day that 1600s and 1700s, when England, France, Germany, all of them, Spain, but it's mainly Spain, England, France. Some Germans were in there too, but they were so low down at the time. That's why Hitler had to do something, because they was just so low down. They were smart people, but they were low down. They were bottom of the barrel. France, England, Spain, they were the Europeans that were doing all of this machination, all the enslavement, and making slavery into a business. Okay? They were the ones doing the real 3-level chess calculations and learn how to play the poor against the middle class, while the super rich just kept staying up on top, like that queen. That queen crap in England, they should have big dismantled that BS. That is complete BS. This is the 20th century, 21st century, folks. There's no way in hell you should still have something like that. And this Senate that we have here in America, they need to get rid of that goddamn thing. We don't need a Senate. All we need is a House of Representatives. That's all we need. And you still have the judicial branch, and you still have the damn executive branch with the president. We don't need no Senate. They need to get rid of that. That's the next thing we're going to have to insist that they do, get rid of that Senate, because that Senate is designed, America is designed to perpetuate corruption. It was founded on corruption. Those quote unquote, their forefathers, not ours, their forefathers. We were enslaved. We weren't even considered to be humans. We were considered to be like saddles and bridles and things like that. We were not included in that all men are created equal crap, because we were not considered to be men to them, to the filthy animals that they were. See, they had to try to bring us down because they saw the pyramids. They saw the Sphinx. They said, oh shit, these people are like 100,000 years ahead of us. They know how to speak languages. They know how to do math. They know how to navigate the seas. They know how to do everything other than when all we know how to do is eat each other and rape each other, steal and rob. That's the only skills we got. So we got to use that to the max. And that's exactly what they've been doing and still are doing. And the number one weapon that they finally found that worked against the Africans, because they tried everything and the shit would nothing would work. But what they finally found would work was that goddamn Bible. And that worked. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's exactly what they've been doing. They've been doing better versions of it. They've been upgrading, getting upgrades, updates. And so now it's really good at splitting your skull open and terrorizing the living hell out your ass, so you wouldn't dare go against the edicts and the teachings of that filthy book. And to show you that if you think that they give a god rat's ass about Black Africans, look what they did to their own people. Africans, if they'll do this to their own people, what the hell you think they're gonna do to you? And they look and see them damn pyramids and that Sphinx and all that technology and all that wisdom and sophisticated a civilization that they don't have no hope of ever getting that close, and they still haven't even gotten close. They're running around here with a bunch of portraits and paintings and everything, and the cathedral and the painting, whatever the BS the Italian did. That's cute. That ain't nothing. You ain't. That's Johnny come lately. You built on stuff we already been mastered. You ain't did nothing at all. You just building on everything we gave you. So you still ain't nothing. And see, once our children read these books that I'm showing them, they're gonna grow up knowing you ain't shit. Now what you gonna do? They're not gonna follow you. They're not going into these churches. I can tell you that right now. Because I learned to cut your ass off because I saw a young 23-year-old young girl, African-American girl say, I'm not going into no religion that enslaved my people. I'm damn sure not picking up that book. And that was a young 23-year-old. That was about 15, 20 years ago. So it's already started. The hip hoppers, the young brothers out on the street that Philippe Matthews called fourth frequency, I'm moving them up to second frequency. They right after us, the ones that are intelligent and reading and critical thinking and into our spirituality, into our metaphysics, into long-term investing. We're into knowing our history and understanding the strategies of dealing with these filthy cave-dwelling ice people. Not all of them. The ones that are practicing this boogaloo boy white supremacist crap, we're going to have to lock their asses up and put them back under the rocks that they came from. That's our first, that's not like our first mission. That's a mission over here. But we got the others. That's a socio-political mission. We got a whole bunch of other missions that we're going to attack that curriculum. We're going to get rid of that goddamn Bible, and we're going to get this spirituality before a religion in place and make sure our children start getting on top of that. That's our Bible. That's our new Bible. Spirituality Before Religion by Kaba Khomeini. That is our new Bible. And that is going to be put in place. And we're not asking no goddamn permission. This is what y'all got to understand. You used to asking these crackers for every, excuse my friend, but you used to asking your white god masters for everything. I don't do none of that. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I'm dealing with nature. I'm dealing with the big dog. I don't ask no damn permission. You do it, and you don't need it in the schools. You wait till they come home and you teach your kids the truth. You don't have to be in the damn schools. We have after school study center. That's what we need to be doing. Don't put this shit in their school. Teach your kids after they get out of school, homeschool our kids. That's how we gonna do this. We ain't asking no damn permission. So this is what this bastard said. And I want you to read these two books here, because this book right here, this book is going to tell you about, this book here is going to tell you why they systematically realized that the filthy, mentally ill, the lowlifes that were in their society and the criminals and the psychopaths, they couldn't be reformed. They couldn't help them. There's nothing they could do with it. So they said, we'll empty out France, Spain, Germany, we're going to empty out all the psychopaths, and we're going to sick them all on America. Put them on the boats. And hopefully they'll die in the 2-month trip going over to America. Hopefully they'll die. And then we'll have to feed them over there. That's what they wanted to do. That didn't work. So only the strongest of them survived and made it over there. And they started wiping out the damn Indians with all the filthy disease, ticks, lice, and all the filth that they had built into their genes. And even the Europeans said they were filthy, yellow, they had a jaundice color, and they could never be saved. There was nothing they could do. They'd been working with them for a good 100 years or so, and they said nothing we could do with them. They can't be saved. So go send them over there. And that's why when they came over here, you read this book here, American Nations, and they'll tell you how and you know what else they said about them? They were lazy bastards, and they didn't want to do no goddamn work. They couldn't get them to do no work. They couldn't get them to learn nothing. They were mentally incapable of learning skills. So when the Native Americans ran into them Africans who were already natives living here in America, and when you read Imhotep's Baba Imhotep, what is his name? I can't think of his name right now. But he did a book. Oh, I got the book here. I just bought it. As a matter of fact, I can actually show you the book. It's called, wrong one. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Gotta get this one. I want you to see this. This book is called The First Americans Were African. I'm gonna stop sharing because I want you to see this, okay? The first Americans were Africans, okay, by David Imhotep, PhD. And let me tell you, I was waiting. This is the one book all year long. I've been waiting for this book right here. This is the book, family. This book will straighten you out. This book proves that Africans were here in America. The Twa Umbuti, they call them the Twa Umbuti Khoisan. My brother Michael Imhotep always helped me to remember that name, the Khoisan people. And they were here, folks, hundreds of thousands of years before the filthy things crawled out of the caves. They had already learned to navigate the waters, and they were here and founded America. Oh, they came when they got to Hispaniola, the Spanish name, that the Spaniards went in there and murdered and assassinated with Columbus all the people they could get their hands on, looking for some damn gold. Okay, those were the Khoisan people. They were African, they were black. Okay, read the work that your scholars have been busting their asses for the last 150 years to put together for you. Throw their goddamn Bible in the garbage and start catching up so you can be ready for when they try to move on your behind. Okay? All right, so that's this work here. There's so many books that we really need to get it together on. But I want to start you off by showing you what these filthy things have been doing here with this. Okay? Okay, and what this book is going to show you is how they systematically decided to get rid of the filthy things out of there in their neighborhood. And you know what? That's why today Europe started doing art. They started doing all kinds of drawing, all kinds of science. Copernicus and all these other people started being able to come out and flourish because they didn't have the distraction of always dealing with these psychopaths that are now called the Boogaloo Boys and the proud psychopaths. Okay, and this book right here, I want you to get into that one by Colin Woodard. This is called The American Nation, the 11, what do they call them? The 11 rival regional cultures of North America, a history of the 11 rival. I read this book 10 years ago, okay? And folks, again, this is not something that I'm gonna stop sharing because I gotta talk to you straight up first. I want you to understand this. When I find these books and I get this information together, I stumble onto it in the process of me just doing my general reading out of my curiosity to understand what makes these people do what they do. And it took me a long time to finally figure out if when you're in an ice cave environment and you were an African when you went in, and then you get down in there and you get stuck in there for 100,300 years on top of 100,000 years, and you get all mutated and become a cannibal, and all you can do is drink blood, eat your babies, eat your elders, just to survive. And 100,000 years go by, you lose all of your humanity, you become an animal, a filthy, low down, no better than a tiger or a lion. No better than that. That's what they were. Fang, teeth, and the whole nine. That's where they get vampires from. Okay? Cannibals, they're the cannibals. They're the lowlifes. They're the Boogaloo Boys. Everything they say about Africans here in America, that's what they are. They call it projecting. In other words, when they're so ashamed of how filthy and nothing that they are, they've lost all connection with their spiritual bond with the universe. So they become these low-life, pure, running on pure raw instinct. No intuitive intelligence in them anywhere, can't even grab hold to the madness and the insanity that the human form is going to conjure up to protect itself. This is called a fight or flight, basic raw self-survival. See, and that's all they're running on, okay? And when the Africans who were here and all throughout the world ran into these things, they had never seen anything like that. So their humanity is automatically to try to help. They didn't know these things were vampires and ghouls and they would eat you. They have never seen anything like this, family. You gotta understand, you can't be hard on your ancestors. Never seen anything like a ghoul or a vampire. They never seen anything like this. Those werewolves and things you see, that's them. Full of hair, fangs eat you. That's them coming out of the caves after 100,000 years. And they're trying to make it seem like it's over there. It's a fantasy, it's not us, we really. And so they become masters at deceit, lying, demonic behavior. Those are African, those used to be Africans, humans, 100,000 years ago. They just crawled out the caves in the last 15, 20,000 years. They got a long way to go. You can't fix 100,000 years in 20,000 years. And that's why they rolling over the planet. And you know what we're gonna do? What we do is we go yin, and we let them come on in and let them, and then we just gonna surround them and out-baby their ass into, we're gonna out-baby their ass into oblivion, which we don't even have to work hard at it because Mother Nature is gonna wipe their asses out because they're not dominant, they're recessive. There may be a version of them around, but they're going to disappear as a quote unquote white race. And nature's going to do that. The sun is going to do that. Okay? So, you know, we ain't really got to be too crazy, but I'm just saying, you got to let them know. As long as they're still around, go over there, sit down and shut up. And listen to your fathers and your mothers so you can, like they say, so your days can be long. Okay? But you got to put these filthy things in check. And you have to have strong law and order. Okay? So this book right here, we'll go back to sharing. This book right here is going to show you how lazy those filthy things were when they got here to America in the colonies. And they sent them over. And Jefferson and all these filthy scumbags that were the founding fathers, who in their right mind would leave France, England, and Spain with the glory of all of the Spain, with the Moroccans went in and trained them how to stop eating each other and bathe. Then they went into, the Greeks came, we taught them to stop eating each other and bathe. That's where Herodotus and all these guys come from. Then the Romans came in, the Greeks went and taught the Romans how to stop eating each other and bathe. Okay? And we went everywhere they came, we were already there because we didn't learn in the ice, we were already there. Everywhere they came, they ran into us. And we taught them how to stop eating each other and bathe. Stop drinking blood, learn how to grow crops. But some of them were so psychopathic. If you look at cows, if they ever mix any animal product into the feed of a cow, you get what they call mad cow disease. See, that mad cow disease, that's the same thing happens to a human being that eats human flesh. Out of desperation, they didn't do it because they wanted to do it, but they got in the habit of doing it. Okay? They got in the habit of doing it. So that means they got used to it. And it's a hard thing to break. They got some of them down in the South right now. They kill a deer. They take the blood and they drink the blood of the deer. Eat the heart and shit. That's their filthy, nasty behaviors coming back because it's in their DNA. They don't even, it's so subconscious. They don't even know, they don't even remember why they do the filthy, nasty things that they do. They don't know. They're filthy. And you have to corral them and lock them up and keep them in check, because if you don't, they'll destroy. They're like a virus. They'll just go around just destroying every goddamn thing. Because they don't know no better. They're trapped in their form bodies. They're just the micro being that normally would control with intuitive intelligence. They're trapped. They ain't got no hope of ever fixing that. You just gotta gene pool them into oblivion by allowing them to mate with somebody black, somebody of color, some African, so you can get some more pure humanity genes in them, to get the ghoul and get the vampire gene out of them. See, that's what the whole movie with what do you call it? What was that movie with the girl Beckinsale, and she's mating with the human or the werewolf, because they're trying to get that out of them. All right, that's the symbolism of that metaphorical story. Okay, but this book here, American Nations, is going to show you how they came here eating each other. And the Africans that were here tried to show them how to grow crops. They were so goddamn lazy and useless. Most of them starved to death because they were so lazy. They didn't want to do nothing. So when you hear them telling you that African Americans are lazy, I can say that about my people because they don't want to read, but I won't tolerate that crap from them, because they created the L in lazy, do nothing, good for nothing, want everybody to work and do everything for them. Even these old farts we got over here where I'm living here in Winmore, they actually want me to come up. They got so many black people used to reporting to them. They come to me talk about war crimes. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. I don't even listen. I'm from the Bronx. I don't give a damn what you say. You don't mean nothing to me. And I'm not even trying to be nice to them. The last 20 years of my life, when I'm living here, folks, I ain't trying to be nice to no racist Donald Trump crackers that are living here in Florida. And you don't know who they are. So I assume all of them are Donald Trump crackers until they show me otherwise. And that won't happen because I'm not going to socialize with them. I don't want to know them. I don't want to find out if they're good ones. Damn that. I ain't got no time for that. My kids and our people are jacked up. I got a whole lot of work to do. And I'm not going to spend a nanite of a second entertaining their lazy, no good asses. And this book is going to show you how nasty and filthy Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, their founding fathers. Look at this bastard. Look what this bastard said here. This is Thomas Jefferson. Here's what this bastard had the nerve to say about Africans that were here after they enslaved their asses for 200 years. Because this is damn near 17-something, this is damn near 300-something years. Right? 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Okay, that's 1500. This 1787. Well, that's 287 years after Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Okay, and they're enslaving every goddamn thing they can get their hands on. And look what this filthy bastard had the nerve to say about black people. In the notes on the state of Virginia, 1787, Thomas Jefferson stated the physical and moral character of African Americans. They secrete more than do whites by the glands of the skin, which gives them a very strong and disagreeable odor. Now, let's stop right there. This filthy bastard, that you know how much of a bottom feeder he must have been in order for Europe, France, England, whoever the fuck sent this filthy piece of shit to America. That means he had to be the bottom of the barrel. That's why they sent him to the colonies. The colonies was where they sent the lowest form of people in their society as a punishment Okay? That's how filthy he was. And by the way, if you look at them and you call them the wigs in England, you see they're wearing the wigs. You know why they wear wigs? Because they were so goddamn nasty and filthy and still used to not bathing from being in the caves, that the flies and the lice and the ticks, their hair was matted and filthy and nasty. So they would put the wigs on over it, and then they would take snuff and put it up their nose so they can stand the stench of being around each other. That's why you have the little, see them with the lace and the little hanky hat hanging and put the stuff up their nose, because they were filthy, nasty, and stink. Imagine the women with the filthy vaginas. They were so bad, the men didn't even want to lay in bed next to them. They smelled so damn bad. And that bastard is going to talk about secreting glands of the skin, in which give, after they refuse to give them soap and water and food and clothing to bathe with, trying to get some revenge because they got caught in the ice and we didn't. So they look at Africans and our beauty and everything and our smooth and beautiful skin, and they're jealous and they resent us and they hate us because God favored us and we never had to go in the cave, and nature favored us because look how beautiful our skin was. Look how beautiful our women are. So what do? The first thing you do is you try to ridicule and put down the people that you are ashamed that you don't even look 1% as good as them. Your ugly, skinny lips, white ass, pale ass, ugly, stinking bastard that nobody would come near you unless you had to rape them. And that's what they did to our sisters and daughters and our mamas and the boys. So if they're so stinking nasty, why were you raping them? Why are you having sex with them, Thomas Jefferson? How many black people you know that got the name Jefferson around here, folks? How you think they got that name? Because this filthy bastard was raping these women who were secreting glands and secreting all of these smells. Filthy, lying bastard. Anyway, and they are more ardent after their females. Oh, so in other words, he's jealous because the women want the African men because they're sitting there strapping and muscles and shining and glistening and beautiful skin, big butts and bulky mandinkas. Of course you're jealous. You're ugly, skinny, no good piece of filthy vampire, blood drinking filthy bastards. And they got the gall to sit up and say this stuff about Africans. I'm not even gonna read the rest of that shit. I just wanted you to see the reverse psychology that these filthy bastards are trying to put down. They started this shit back in 17 something. And in 1676 was they had the Baker's Rebellion that I did in the last movie. And so they instituted in 1681 the anti-miscegenation laws, because they don't want the white women to mate with the beautiful African men that the women were going after like crazy, because they didn't want nothing to do with their ugly, skinny asses. Pale, they call them pale faces. They were ugly. None of the women want anything to do with them. That's why they have to rape their women. The fathers have to rape the daughters. Nobody wants anything to do with them. They're so goddamn ugly. That's why when I see them out in the street, I look at people and I go, my God, why would you be on television trying to look like that? I mean, why? You got people in Jamaica and in Africa bleaching their skins trying to look like these ugly bastards. That's how jacked up our people are, folks. To this day, they have artists that are out there right now singing, and they bleach it. They show you pictures of them when they first started out as artists, because they're around all of these filthy people. They actually start bleaching their skin, trying to look like them, trying to get along with them. I don't want to get along with them. I'd rather stay poor, dirty, and never have a dime than actually be near one of them things. I wouldn't want nothing to do with them. I'm sorry. I don't want nothing to do with them. The rest of y'all, that's your job, not mine. My job is to educate our people and make them understand why they need to stay as far away from them as possible. Their culture is filthy. They're filthy. You need to go back to get into your African culture and step it up, take it to the next level. I like what the brothers are doing in the hip hop community and the sisters are doing in the hip hop community. You need to lose them. Sisters need to lose all them nails and all of that, paying all that money to pay these Asians and all that stuff. I wouldn't give them. And that's another thing. We really need to tighten up on boycotting and buying black. We need to buy with our own. And that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna make sure I find me a lawyer. Everything, every dentist, every doctor, everybody, I don't give a damn if they don't do a good job, as long as they're black. I wanna make sure that money is going into them, the black economy. Because I'm not gonna let none of my wealth and none of my stuff go into no more. I'm not feeding these crackers, these white supremacists. I'm not feeding nobody until they give us reparations. I'm boycotting all things white until they give us reparations. That's me personally. Y'all do what you want to do. I'm not giving them a dime, except Elon Musk. When I go to get my Tesla, that I gotta do, you know. But Elon's, you know, Elon is, he just got here. Elon is, he just got here. I'm sorry, folks. Elon, I can't even put him in that camp. You know, yeah, he's a European. Yeah. But he's next level. I'm sorry. That, you know, I make an exception for Elon. Got to make an exception for Elon. Okay. All right. So I wanted to point this out to you. This is coming out of this book here, White Trash. Okay. And she's talking about the Europeans and the way they thought about the filthy things that they sent over here as the when the colonies were, were being formed. Okay. And this is what they said about them. They called them waste people. They said, and later they called them white trash. Marginalized Americans were stigmatized for their inability to be productive. Like I said, lazy bastards. Didn't want to do no goddamn work. Never wanted to do no damn work. Always want to get somebody to do their work for them. That's why when I got in the phone company for the first 5 years, I wouldn't do no overtime because I know them lazy bastards were trying to get me to do all their work for them. And I wasn't going to do it. Wasn't going to do it. Hell no, I wouldn't do it. Okay? And this is proof. This is, I don't know this lady, but this is the way they thought about the white supremacists, the Boogaloo boys and the Proud Boys and all these lazy bastards. They didn't want to do no goddamn work. Look here, right? Inability to be productive. To own, they were unable to be productive. They were unable to own property or to produce healthy and upwardly mobile children. That's what they thought about them because that's the way they behaved. These kids were the progeny of the original psychopaths that they dumped out of Europe, and these are there. And you read the book, The 11 Tribes. They tell you about how they came from France and Spain and England, and they were filthy, and some of them went up into the mountains and down here in certain parts of Appalachian and down here in the South, and how filthy and nasty. They made movies about them. Listen, we're not making this shit up. This is how these people are, okay? Then he goes on and it says the American solution to poverty and social backwardsness was not what we might expect. Well into the 20th century, expulsion and even sterilization sounded rational. This is what they were doing. So the eugenics project was first put on these filthy, low-down boogaloo boys and these filthy things. That's why they're turning on Trump, because they realize they're using us again. They're gonna turn on Trump. I guarantee you, watch this. They've been feeding that gorilla and Trump and the Confederates and Mitch McConnell and all these guys and that guy up there in Utah, what's his name? I can't think of Mitt Romney. They've been using these people, because they're the low-life scumbags of their society. They're using them, and now they're finally waking up. They realized all this chasing after African Americans and gay people and Jews, some stupid shit. I don't even know where they get that one from. Now they realize, oh, all this stuff, we've been so busy fighting each other, we ain't paying no attention. They just using us. You're nothing but a pawn. You're nothing. Look what they think about you. You're social, you're poverty, and you're socially backwards. That's what they know you are. They don't think they know, because they know what they dumped out of Europe. They know what they did, okay? In America, in America's evolving attitude toward these unwanted people, okay? Perhaps the most dramatic language attached to the mid-19th century, which is 1850, when poor rural whites were categorized as less than white. Their yellowish skin and diseased and decrepit children, marking them as a strange breed apart. The words waste and trash are crucial to any understanding of this powerful and enduring vocabulary. Okay? Throughout its history, the United States has always had a class system. Like I said, America will never, ever be great. It's not possible, family. It's not in their DNA. It's not in their DNA. They're admitting, this is the white woman. It's not in their DNA, family. When I tell you to throw their Bible out, I'm not telling you that just in a vacuum, just because I don't like Bibles. I'm looking at the scientific and the literal literature and the historic facts that is validating. It's not in their DNA. They don't believe in that Bible and that God BS and that Jesus crap that they pushing on you. You believe it. They're playing you against with the filthy boogaloo boys. They're playing on you. Malcolm X told you that. Stop being a fool. Stop being bamboozled. Don't let them bamboozle you. And they're certainly not going to get my damn grandkids. I can tell you that right now. Okay? All right? In the most literal term, this is the thing that I want you to understand. This, now, folks, I made a book note on this. Now, it don't get no clearer than this. I'm gonna have to hurry up because I know I'm going long on this one. I'm gonna have to wrap up after this. I'm gonna do a part 2 on this, family. Look at this. In the most literal terms, this woman says, British colonists promoted a dual agenda. Dual, 2. What was this agenda? Step 1, reduce poverty back in England. That was their number 1 goal, to reduce poverty. How are they going to accomplish that goal? By number 2, transport the idle and unproductive, lazy bastards, to the new world. There it is, family. England. That's just the example where they're admitting it. France did the same thing. Spain did the same thing. They realized, oh shit, there's a whole world over there full of Africans that we can sick the filthy retards and the mentally ill psychopaths and the lazy bastards, and we can get rid of all their ass. We don't have to feed them. We don't have to put them in jail and feed them. We don't have to be bothered with them at all. Throw their asses on boats and let them go over there. If they live, oh well, what the hell? At least they're not here. We don't have to deal with their dumb asses. Their filthy, nasty asses eating people, eating their own bowel movements and stuff. They were filthy, nasty, mentally ill people. Cognitive development was gone. They were barbarians after eating each other. That will do something to your brain. And so the intuitive intelligence of the micro being that's within It can't get through all of that. It cannot come through. It cannot extrude itself through that kind of dysfunction. It can't do it, family. This is just science. This is pure psychology, psychiatry, human physical form facts in the way it works, okay? They did this on purpose. There it is right there. In the most literal terms, British colonists promoted a dual agenda, and they put a colon there. What was the dual agenda? Number one, reduce poverty back in England. Number one, that's the number one priority. And the other, number two, was transporting the idle and the unproductive to the new world to get rid of their asses. That's what they wanted to do. Okay? And then she went on to say, the poor were not only described as waste, okay? And these are whites. There were no Africans in England back then. And if there were, they were rare and few and far in between, okay? Inferior animals. I'm not saying that. That's what the English said. The poor were not only described as waste, but as inferior animals, okay? Stocks too, okay? Inferior animal stocks. Also, that's what they call that word. TOS means also. That's what they call them. That's the way they thought about it. I'm not making this shit up, folks. I'm telling you. There it is, black and white, right in front of your face. Okay? Redneck Roots, a proud movement that of course, through the 1980s and the 1990s with them filthy boogaloo boys, and now they call them the Proud Boys and all. That's the Proud movement, okay? More than a reaction to progressive changes in race relations. What that means, they started seeing African Americans become governors, start seeing African American mayors. They saw Bill Clinton, his best friend was the brother that had gotten shot way back in the days. I forget what his name is, and that's Bill Clinton's best friend. He's the guy who made Bill Clinton the president, because he had the connections in the Democratic Party and the Democratic apparatus. I can't think of his name right now. I can see his face just as clear as day, but I can't think of his name. I'll put it up on the side. Vernon Jordan. His name was Vernon Jordan. Vernon Jordan. I think, I don't know if he's still alive. I think he's gone now. Okay, and so they saw that, they didn't like that. They said, wait a minute, we've been killing niggas for y'all for all these hundreds of years and raping women and doing everything for y'all, and now you're gonna put them and make them mayors? You're not gonna let us be mayors? That's what Trump said. I'm filthy trash, and my daddy gave me all this money. I may be filthy trash, but listen, if you let Obama go in there and be president, that nigga could get in there, then that means, if that nigga get in, I know I better let me get in, and I want Nobel Peace Prize, and I want 2 terms. That's what the dummy Donald Trump, that's what he thinking. Retard. Sorry excuse for a human being, filthy bastard. Okay? Now, the evidence and popularity of the reality show shows that Duck Dynasty, and here comes Honey Boo Boo in the recent years. So here again, more validation. Folks, I wasn't looking for this. I stumbled on to this. What did I tell you about that television? Cut that goddamn thing off. Boycott their shows, make them suffer. And I guarantee you they'll clean that crap up. And another thing I want to bring to your attention, and I don't know how y'all don't see this, but to show you how much they're trying to push you into drugs and alcohol. I'm down here in Florida. I don't know what's going on up in New York, but every liquor commercial I see, every AIDS commercial I see, you never see any white people, and you certainly don't see any white men kissing each other on TV. I'm down here in Florida. They showing 2 black dudes kissing each other on TV. Our children are watching this. Okay? But you don't never see the white dudes are all carrying boats all by themselves. Oh, he's got AIDS, but he's carrying a boat. You never see a white man kissing another white man. Never, ever. Not that I think it's the end of the world, but I'm just saying to you, why you gotta assassinate our character to our children on TV? Everything they see on TV, they accept as gospel. And every time there's a liquor commercial, every time there's a beer commercial, there's the black guy. There's the black people. Finally, when it comes to smoking cigarettes or drinking liquor or doing anything depraved, here comes the African Americans. Anytime it's some superficial, stupid shit where we dancing around like clowns and buffoons on TV, here come the African American dumbasses. Because it's their TV system. If you stop participating in it and get your own and run your own commercials, then our children won't keep feeling less than. Because backhandedly, subconsciously, in the back of their minds, that's why they want the white doll. To this day, they still want the white doll. Their hair has got to be straight and long. The skin got to be lighter. You want to be lighter. You don't want to be black and beautiful and smooth skin. Oh no. Everybody on TV is Adele and this one, and everybody is white. And oh, everywhere you look, they're white. All the superstars, the fastest man on earth and Superman is white. The fastest man on earth is Flash, he's white. Kid Flash finally shows up and he's just a stumbling, bumbling idiot. And a kid. Everybody is white. And I don't have a problem with that. But I'm not gonna turn my TV on and watch that shit. You ain't gonna get no time out of me. I'll watch MSNBC because at least they're trying to do something. See, that's socio-political. And that I'm supporting socio-political change, equality. MSNBC is fighting for that. So I'm gonna back them up. Joy Reid comes on TV. She got more goddamn colors on her. Every day, she's a different color. And I don't understand what that's about. Her and Al Sharpton. Why they gotta be the clowns of the show? Why they gotta always dress in these weird clothes and everything? Why can't you just be a news? Give us the news. Give us the data. We don't need all that dressing up and all that stuff. That is not how you fix this problem. You lead by example. Look at Gwen Ifill. I'm so sorry that she died. She was a beautiful black woman. Look at my beautiful black sister, comes on all the time. I can't think of her name. I'll get her name. Kimberly Scott. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful black woman. Always wear her hair natural. Beautiful, just the slightest bit of makeup. She ain't got to do nothing. Look at my beautiful, beautiful African woman, down there in Georgia, running for the governorship. Stacey Abrams. Look how she dressed with her, always impeccable. Just the slightest bit of makeup to smooth out the skin for the cameras. But other than that, you don't need all of that clownish dressing and all that stuff. Our children need to see dignity and royalty. When I see Kimberly Scott with her hair beautiful, oh, this woman is so beautiful. When I saw her come on C-SPAN, I knew she wouldn't last long because she's too good for them. The filthy, no good scumbags, Confederates were all calling in, and she lit their asses up and didn't flinch and didn't blink and looked them straight in their eye and tore their asses to pieces. And I used to love it, but I knew she wouldn't last. She's too good. See, really, really good people don't usually last on shows that you're not getting paid. You know, ain't nobody gonna do that for free, you know? And that happened once Obama got in. That's when they lost their damn minds. The Confederates and the GOP used the filthy brutes and the Boogaloo Boys. And Ronald Reagan had been doing that, folks. Ronald Reagan had been doing that since way, way back. In the 70s, Ronald Reagan was doing his thing. In the 80s, that filthy bastard, you know? He had been using these Boogaloo boys and getting them worked up for decades. By the time Obama finally showed up, they had already assassinated Hillary and Bill Clinton's character, even though Bill Clinton didn't do a whole lot for black. He was did some really low down crap. I found out about him. Hillary, they had been working on her. I knew Hillary was never gonna get nowhere, never. They've been working on her for 30 years, assassinating her character. I knew she would never make it. But you got beautiful Stacey Abrams. You got my beautiful sister from who comes on MSNBC, Kimberly Scott. Beautiful. That's the kind of natural beauty that we need to see more of in front of our children. Honorable, decent. And Joy Reid, don't get me wrong, I love you, honey. You're the smartest, brightest producer I've seen on television. You and Kimberly Scott, okay? But you don't need to do all that. You don't need to do all that. We need you to be solid like you already are. All of that other stuff is just a distraction. Our kids are getting confused. They say, oh, wait a minute, her hair is this way. Oh, so I'm not gonna, so I can change my hair and I have to change my hair. Because whenever see you do, they think they have to do. But it's not that they wanna do it. They don't know that you're doing it just because maybe you have a friend that you're trying to get her some work and she's doing your makeup and everything. Makeup is too much. You don't need all that makeup. All this constant changing clothing and different, your cleavage too much, your breasts and everything hanging out. It's just not, it's just every time I look at it, I just go, my God, what the hell now? I'm trying to get the information, but I'm being distracted by all these little nuances that are just not relevant. It's not relevant. You know, Al Sharpton, thank God he finally started wearing decent suits. Everybody else come on TV and they were just wearing plain suits. And Chris, I love Chris's show. Forget what his name is. He comes on before Joy Reid. Chris, sharp, really upstanding, excellent posture, always wears solid color suit. And all I'm doing is paying attention to what the issues he's talking about. I'm not distracted by his suit. Larry comes on, I'm not distracted. And I mean, come on, Rachel Maddow with the same damn jacket and black thing all the time. And all I want to know is what she got to say. I'm not distracted. And when Joy comes on, all I want to know, Joy, is what you got to say. All that other stuff is just a distraction. I don't need to be entertained. I need to be informed. And that's what I need you to keep doing. You're doing that, but you're getting, don't need all of that. That's what I love about when I see Stacey Abrams, because that is the most articulate, sharpest African-American on the planet. And she's right next to Michelle Obama, which I wouldn't want. The only reason why I could give America Stacey Abrams, because I know Stacey Abrams gonna kick some ass. She ain't gonna be in there playing no game, sucking up to nobody. Michelle Obama, she gonna do the same thing. She'll be in there kicking ass. But Michelle Obama is too good for America. I'm sorry, I wouldn't desecrate my queen with these filthy maggots, these filthy, no good, low life white supremacists. I wouldn't give them 1 second of Michelle. I wouldn't even let them touch the edge of her blouse. You better not. That's our beautiful queen, and I mean, you better not mess with none of them. Because I'm going to tell you right now, we will go on the warpath if you mess with our queens. Now, you can do some killing of some brothers and whatnot, but when you start messing with our queens, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be open physical war. And that's why I never wanted Michelle Obama to ever run for president. These filthy American bastards. I don't give a shit if America just disappears off the damn planet, be honest with you. It's such a low-down, filthy country because of the filthy 78 million people voted for Trump, family. You can't fix that. You can't fix that. You got to educate your children and tell them the truth about what's going on. I'm going to wrap this movie up, and then I'm going to come back and finish this on a part 2. Okay, family? I'll see you in the next one. Okay? One love.